Welcome into Drew's Daily Diamond for Wednesday, April 17th, talking the Major League Baseball slate here from a betting perspective and getting right after it, guys, because we got some day baseball. First pitch about 6 hours from when I'm talking right now. So we're heading to Camden Yards in Baltimore, Maryland for the Minnesota Twins and the Baltimore Orioles. 1:05 Eastern start. Looks like 64 degrees. Rain might be in the forecast. And we're seeing the Minnesota Twins here minus 120 favorites as the road favorite, and total of 8. Baltimore, as I'm talking right now at the 7 a.m. Eastern time frame, still to be determined for their starting pitcher. But we're betting at action anyway. We won on the Orioles yesterday in a 3-3 day. We did lose juice and a favorite, but we're going to come back here, hopefully gain that juice back. And the Baltimore Orioles hopefully starting us off as we're talking these games in chronological order and the time the first pitch is. And a couple reasons why I like the Orioles here, guys. First off, they won yesterday 11-3. Their offense, 15 hits in that game. They've won 3 straight, 6 of their last 8. They've scored 24 runs in their last 3 games. So they are seeing the ball very well. And they're going up against Pablo Lopez here, the starter for the Twins. And going off as the favorite, I think because he's a big name and going up against the Baltimore Orioles, hey, it might be a bullpen game here. We're betting at action either way. But Baltimore, by my numbers, top 5 bullpen in the start of this season. But really going after Pablo Lopez here in the Orioles offense. First off, I want to go over Pablo Lopez. He's a longtime Marlins pitcher, and he grew up in Venezuela. So kind of good, or I guess warmer weather destinations. And since he's gone here to the AL Central, something I've noticed is in, a little bit colder weather, he doesn't pitch as well, guys. And sure enough, last time out, 4 innings, 5 earned runs, 6 hits, 3 walks against Detroit. He really hasn't looked that great. I know it's not that cold, but still, it's something in the back of my head here. In Baltimore, we talked about it on yesterday's show. Most profitable team in sports since 2022. From going opening day 2022 till now, they're up over 60 units, 63 units to be exact after yesterday's win, meaning if you've been betting $100 on the O's, you're up over $6,000 just betting them blindly. And talking about yesterday's win, 11-3, they didn't use any of their big-time arms. Actually, only 2 guys out of the bullpen pitch, both under 30 pitches. So it should be all arms on deck here in the later innings. All of that adding up to Orioles ride this money train, risk 100 to win 100. I like the O's first game up. We'll head to actually from Camden Yards to Comerica Park here in the Motor City in Detroit for second game up. This is 1:10 Eastern start. So we'll have 2 games going at the same time, 5 minutes apart from each other anyway, if rain doesn't get in the way. 65 degrees. Something to note here in Detroit, 20-mile-an-hour winds blowing in from center field. So, hey, that leads me to the under here, and we're getting 7.5. It's Dane Dunning going for the Texas Rangers, and Scooble, the lefty, going for the Tigers. Minus 140 on Detroit. I'm looking to bet on Scooble, but I don't know, laying 140 against the former world champions kept me off of that. Instead, I'm going on the under in this one. 7 in the hook here. We get Texas and Dunning. Dunning has actually pitched 3 games so far, started 3 games this season. And in all 3 games, he's let up 3 earned runs. So he's been consistent, walks a little bit high at 9, but he's gone 5 or 6 innings in all of the starts. So consistency is there for Dunning. And Scooble, a guy that added a really good changeup in the offseason, he's been money. 2 shutouts already this season, going 11 innings in those 2 shutouts, a 2 ERA overall. His last time out, 5 innings pitched, 2 hits, no runs. In Detroit here, a really good bullpen out of the gate, guys. And all of their bullpen arms, the big ones, should be ready to go. So Texas has played 2 straight unders. Detroit, 4 straight unders. Both teams trending under for the season. And again, going back to that wind blowing in from center field, I think that keeps the ball in the ballpark. And this is a low-scoring game, maybe something like 3-2, 3-1. I like the under 7.5 in the Motor City, Rangers and the Tigers for our second game. Heading down the list here, we got 2:10 Eastern. What's that? 1:10 Central Time in Chicago, the Windy City, actually. Kansas City Royals and the Chicago White Sox in an AL Central matchup. And I say Windy City, this is actually blowing out to center field. So, guys, on today's slate, got to look out for some of this weather. It's the Royals going with Singer. We get Chicago White Sox with Cannon on the hill. That's actually Jonathan Cannon. 8.5 being the total, minus 170. That is the Kansas City Royals as the road favorite. Look, the White Sox are just 2-14 on the season. This has been a miserable start. They're in for a long season, and that's putting it nicely, talking about the Sox. And Kansas City has been one of the bigger surprises in baseball, really, this year. 11-6 out the gate, and that's after a year. I mean, they were awful last year. Now, they added a lot of pieces, and so far it's been working. I'm actually going to lay the 1.5 here on the run line with the Royals. You can get it plus 100 at DraftKings right now. They are 11-6 against the spread, by the way, so kind of covering when they win. And look, yesterday's game got postponed due to rain. So this is the first game of the doubleheader. So make sure you're betting the first game, because that's what I just did in terms of laying the run line with the Royals. A couple reasons why here. Singer, he has 18 innings pitched on the year, 2 earned runs, and both of the earned runs he's given up in his starts are solo shots. So he hasn't given up another run outside of 2 swings of the bat. I think he's pitching really good. Talking about Singer, he's a fastball, slider, changeup guy. Kansas City Royals are also hot right now, winning 9 of their last 11 games. So going up against a team that's 2-14 right off the bat, I want to be betting the road favorite. Going to lay the run line. And last thing here, Jonathan Cannon, the White Sox pitcher. This is his MLB debut, so it can kind of be a tricky handicap. Sometimes, you know, these young kids come out and pitch very well. I don't think he's going to be able to do that. He is just 23 years old. He was a 3rd pick in the 2022 MLB draft. His AAA numbers, he's had 2 starts this year, 9 innings, given up 10 hits and 5 walks. So again, a tricky handicap, taking, you know, AAA numbers and bringing them into the show. But overall, I think he struggles a little bit here against the Royals, and seeing the Royals minus 1.5. I'm not a huge run line guy, but in this case, hey, I'll lay it plus 100, risk 100 to win 100 on the Royals minus the 1.5 here. Next game up, we'll move down the list. Mid-afternoon game on the West Coast. It's the Oakland A's hosting the St. Louis Cardinals here, the Redbirds. 3:37 Eastern start. So 12:37 in Oakland. It's a total of 8, and minus 155 is what we're seeing the Cardinals as the road favorite. It's Steven Matz, the lefty, going for the Cardinals versus Paul Blackburn going for the A's. Steven Matz, he's a guy that used to pitch for the Mets back in the day. His ERA looks good this year, but he just did give up 4 runs last time out. Only 1 of them earned, but still, he didn't look all that good. 8 hits given up, only 2 strikeouts in a little over 4 innings against the Arizona Diamondbacks. So go up here against Oakland and Paul Blackburn. One thing that I think is riding under the radar, because Blackburn pitches for the Athletics, he's already pitched 19 innings this season with 0 earned runs. So he's been hot right now in those 19 innings, only given up 11 hits and 3 walks. He is only 1-0. So it's kind of like, I don't think a lot of people are noticing it here, but catching plus 135 with the A's. I know you don't hear, hey, I'm backing the Athletics a lot, but I'm going to do it here. Mid-afternoon game in the Coliseum. Another reason why is the schedule for the St. Louis Cardinals. They're on a West Coast road trip here. Talked about Matt's facing the Diamondbacks, now facing the Athletics. So the West Coast road trip, they have an off day tomorrow before heading back home. So it's kind of like that last game of a road trip. Maybe, you know, are their heads really in it? There's not going to be a lot of people in the Coliseum. So I really think, hey, Oakland plus the 135. Oakland won 3 of their first 4 games before this series. They have dropped the first 2 of this series. So kind of think motivation's there, not wanting to get swept. And those first 2 games, 3-2 and 3-1 Cardinals victories. So it's not like the Cardinals have been blowing them out, putting up big offensive numbers. They just kind of etched them out a little bit. And that almost leads us to, a little bit of bullpen handicap here, guys. The Cardinals, holding on to those leads, have thrown their closer and their setup guy, Hensley and JoJo Romero, in each of the last 2 games. So early in the season, usually when these big bullpen arms throw two straight nights, that third day, a day game after a night game, I don't think they're going to be available. Now, they could. It's kind of a tough projection, but getting a little edge on the betting markets, it's one thing I've learned over the years. When you can go back and these big-time bullpen arms throw 2 straight days, that third day is in question. So they might be without 2 of their best bullpen arms. So the later inning edge might actually be on the Athletics and our plus 135 tickets. So risk 100 to win 135 on the A's for our 4th game up. We do have a night game going to be talking here in Fenway with Cleveland and Boston. But first, want to give a shout out to everybody that commented on our first show yesterday. It was awesome to see everybody in there in the comments on the YouTube channel, Wager Talk YouTube channel. Drew's Daily Diamond, looking to do this every day in the MLB season. So thank you to all the comments, and do want to answer some questions as we go along this summer, breaking down the MLB games. And shout out to Brent Hall on Twitter asking a question in terms of where I get the information and the website. So shout out to you, Brent. And I guess I get it from a lot of different websites, guys. I'm a big game log guy. So the pitchers, I like to go to Fangraphs or Baseball Reference and go look at their game logs and how they did most recently. Usually I'm a big, what have you done for me lately handicapper. So look at their last 3 games, their last start, also how they performed against different lineups that kind of fit the same profile, how a pitcher's faced against a certain lineup in the past, go back to last year, even if they had success or not. And then talked about kind of the bullpens there. Look for bullpen usage, which a couple different websites have it. You can get it at Fangraphs, Baseball Reference as well, and some others. And also the bullpen ratings, which I kind of do myself in terms of strikeout, walk percentage, their whip, their ERA as well. So those are some things I look to do. Also, just MLB.com. They've really upped their game as well. See what teams are hot, what teams are not. Covers as well has a good matchup page, kind of for Blimp's view. So those are just some of them, Brent. But huge shout out to you in that question, man. And feel free to keep the questions coming, guys, in the comments below, or hit me up on Twitter at Drew Martin Bets. So let's get into the nightcap here. We got the Cleveland Guardians and the Boston Red Sox. The Red Sox 9-9 on the year, and Cleveland 12-5 out the gate. Best team in baseball. You are what your record says you are. In Cleveland, hey, they have the best record in baseball right now. So it's Huck going for the Red Sox, minus 135 home favorites. And it's Ben Lively going for Cleveland. Total of 9, minus 135. That's Boston as the favorite. Lively, if you've never heard of him, he's a guy that pitched in the KBO, the Korean baseball organization, in 2020 and 2021 there in the COVID years. This is actually his 2024 debut. So no numbers behind him really. But last year he was on the Reds and faced this Red Sox lineup. He went just under 6 innings. It's a shutout baseball. Didn't give up an earned run at all. 6 strikeouts in that. So past performance against this lineup, he's fared very well. They also have a top 5 bullpen again, talking about Cleveland, that hot start, a lot of it due to their bullpen arms. So I'm going to ride Lively's past performance in a good bullpen here with Cleveland up against a Red Sox team. Yes, Hook is on the hill. His numbers overall are good. His last time out, though, just 5 innings, 12 hits given up, and only 2 strikeouts against the Angels. And he's faced the Angels twice and the Oakland Athletics once. So not really murderer's row there in terms of lineups he's facing. And last thing here, guys, this is what turned me on to this game in terms of circling and researching further. The Boston Red Sox are really banged up right now. They were kind of injured coming in, even talking a week ago. But Devers, he left yesterday's game with knee discomfort. He's their best hitter, in my opinion. And O'Neill, their best hitter this year, he actually, collided with Devers the game before and had to get stitches in his head. So he's out until at least Thursday. So this lineup's really banged up. I'm not looking to to bet the Red Sox at all. I know they're at home in Fenway, but laying 135 to win 100, that doesn't interest me. I'm actually on the kickback here. I think the dog is barking in Boston. We get plus 125, so plus $1.25, risk 100 to win 125 on the best team in baseball record-wise, the Cleveland Guardians. So, yeah, guys, to end it, give me Cleveland plus 125. I am Drew Martin. Can check out premium picks at wagertalk.com. And this is Drew's Daily Diamond. We'll be back tomorrow as well, guys. So until then, thanks for tuning in. Please smash that like button, comment below, cash those tickets.